welcome to Chit Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. Hope all is well. Today, let's get into it. I want to discuss Miss Wendy Williams. And yes, I said Miss Wendy Williams, okay? She's back in the media. And honestly, I guess she really never left the media, right? She's always been in social media lately. She has yet to leave. So let's get into the article. You know I love a good article, so let's get into it and let's talk about it. So, the article comes from the U.S. Sun, and it's called Not So Fast. Wendy Williams' son, Kevin, 22, charged $100,000 to his mom's Amex card before Wells Fargo froze troubled host accounts. This article was written by Jessica Finn on August 23rd. Okay? So now that we know where our source is coming from, let's get into the article. It reads, Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Hunter Jr., spent $100,000 in his mother's American Express card before Wells Fargo froze his ailing host accounts. Sources close to the former daytime talk show host exclusively revealed to the U.S. Sun that Kevin ran up a huge tab on her dime in the months before Wendy's brokerage accounts, which supposed millions of dollars were frozen in January. Kevin Jr. spent around $100,000 in Wendy's personal American Express card. This was her own Amex specifically, the insider shared. The source explained that the card that Kevin, 22, used was different from that of card Wendy's manager, Bernie Young, had used to hire attorney Carolyn Wolf, as the U.S. Sun previously reported. Kevin was demanding that Wendy's advisor pay the bill instead of Wendy, the source claimed. Well, stop right there. Just a second. Before I go on, I just want to say the fact that Kevin was demanding that Wendy's advisor pay the bill. I'm just going to say before I go on, I absolutely agree, right? I agree with that because it's making decisions and spending their money. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go on. Let me get on with the article, okay? Between the American Express card usage and the tends to visit to a Wells Fargo bank in Florida with Wendy, her son, and her now former attorney, LaShawn Thomas, there were several red flags ahead of the accounts being frozen, according to sources. In a statement given to the U.S. Sun, Kevin Jr. said, I deny any allegations of unauthorized use of my mother's American Express card. This is a false narrative perpetrated to justify freezing her accounts. Come on, Kevin Jr., okay? So, on a little bit further, Wendy's former attorney LaShawn exclusively told the U.S. Sun in a conversation earlier this year about a visit to Wells Fargo branch in Florida with her then client just days before the bank chaos. LaShawn admitted she is no longer working with the star and that she has remained on as an attorney for Wendy's ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, 49. What? I'm going to go on, but I hope you heard what I said. Same attorney? Well, then they shouldn't have the same attorneys. Like, really? Come on now. Anyway, moving on. When asked if anything untoward had happened with Wendy's accounts before they were frozen, the attorney laid out the following interaction at one of the bank's brokerage offices in Florida in January. The attorney denied that there was any issue of financial exploitation which had been raised as a concern by the bank in court papers. LaShawn claimed to the U.S. Sun, I met Wendy at the Wells Fargo branch. We went into the Wells Fargo branch and we spoke to the branch manager. We told him that what was going on. The attorney said that the 58-year-old's only son was also present during the bank visit. LaShawn explained they had, as of yet, has been unable to get a hold of Wendy's bank statements, which were being mailed directly to her New York residence. Kevin Jr. also wanted to set up online banking for his mother while she was staying in Florida. See, come on now. But moving on. Wendy said she wanted to get access to the accounts. LaShawn continued and said the bank manager had told her, well, we don't do that in the retail branch. That's the Wells Fargo's advisors. Let me see if I can get somebody on the line. You have to get somebody on the line for me because you have my money and I can't get to it. Call somebody. LaShawn continued to claim he called Lori Shearer, Wendy's longtime financial advisor. He went into another room and had a conversation with Lori and came out. He said Lori was willing to talk to Wendy, but that she doesn't want anybody else in the room when she talks to Wendy. Another eyebrow. Okay, eyebrows up. My eyebrow goes up again. A side eye, whatever you want to say. Okay, side eye. So Wendy said, no, why can't she talk to me with my attorney? I can't understand if my son has to leave out the room, but I want to keep my